Welcome to another technique tutorial of the week. My name is Rich Alton, and today's topic of the week is we're going to discuss how to effectively strike somebody in a ground and pound situation when they're nullifying your attacks. In other words, their arms are in a way they're impeding your ability to get through cleanly, and we don't want to waste any time just throwing arm punches in here and kind of glancing blows that really aren't really causing an effect. A lot of times what's happening is you'll see fights and stuff where if he's on his back in here and I'm in a mount position, yeah, let's come down here a little more, and what you'll see is the fighter gets on top here to finish the fight, and he starts to throw punches, and the guy on the bottom's arms are getting in the way, and what happens is a lot of the punches are glancing off, and the fighter on top is trying to go around in here like this. And as we're doing this in here, you know, he's really, if you watch these MMA fights in slow motion replays, a lot of these punches are not really getting through like they could to end the fight. And what ends up happening is that the referee steps in and stops the fight because the guy on the bottom in here can't stop these little arm punches that are doing nothing in here. Okay, I want to kind of give a reality check. An effective strike, there's a lot of things, in my opinion, that make an effective strike. First of all, when someone winds up in here, so go ahead and just put your arms up. When I wind my up in here and I throw a big punch in here, let's say I'm coming around and throwing like a hook in here. Let's actually turn, yeah, that's good here. I throw a hook in here like this, okay? And let's say that it doesn't block, right? I come around real slow, and pretend we're going 100 miles an hour here, you know, full speed, and I throw a technique and it kind of hits like this, clunk, okay? If you look at my wrist here, I'm kind of hitting with my thumb and my index finger, boom, like this, okay? If you look at my arm, how it's straight out here, okay? All right, to me this is not an effective hit. But to the crowd and to the commentators it is, because they see the guy, you know, kind of move a little bit, right? But if he doesn't immediately go in unconscious or lose his perception, and let's say if I hit him here and he swings right back, bang, okay? That's not an effective hit. Okay, it didn't stop his ability to think. All right. Now the reason why this punch isn't effective in here is because my arm is straight out like this. Okay, if you look at it from this angle, I'm throwing a hook basically with my arm straight out in here. Okay, a hook should be thrown with a curling action in here like that. Now a lot of fighters, when they throw punches on the ground, they don't throw very good, you know, direct linear strikes or even circular strikes. What ends up happening is, if he's just in a basic defense, is that they swat in here like this. You see them punch real fast and hard, but they're basically swatting. If you look at my body in here, it doesn't have any articulation. There's no torque, there's no inclination in here. And again, like I've said many times, they're not following a functional line of force, a functional power line that actually brings in the biggest muscles in order to generate force in here. And the primary power directional force you need to have in here is rotation and inclination. When you're doing striking from the top, you cannot locomote. Locomotion is moving your body from point A to point B. Okay, this has to be done through rotation in here like this, and to some degree of inclination. Okay, so if you just sit up here real tall and he puts his arms up, and let's just say this is just something to punch on, just to teach the video in here. All right, if I just go like this isn't effective. Okay, no matter how much I try to punch. Okay, I'm just arm punching in here like this. Okay, here. All right, now most fighters don't cover up and do this. Most fighters are flailing out in here, and if I do the same kind of punching in here, I may get through a little bit, okay, in here. But again, I still don't really have a good solid weight transfer like this. So as long as your arms are flailing out in here and your torso sits right here, I don't care who you are, that is not an effective strike, okay? If it's taking you 6 or 7 or 8 strikes to even get a glancing shot in, your punches primarily suck, okay? Now, an alternative to getting through somebody's defense, okay, so let's say he's putting his arms out here like this, okay? So this is a big no-no if you were doing this, but we're going to say this is great if my opponent's on the ground. So instead of and he's trying to put his arms in the way, instead of just trying to sit here and go around like this and just reach, another way a better tactical way to get into this would be to apply what we call trapping. Trapping is one of the 8 ways of attack in combat. And trapping, in this context, is not like they apply in grappling, where I'm trying to get wrist control and hold his arm out here like this. Right? What I'm actually trying to do under this context is trapping is creating a temporary aggressive power immobilization on the guard. So right now my attack lines trying to go through, I can't get through. And then I try to go around and I can't quite get through there because he's just generally covering these zones in here like this. So trapping under this context allows me in here to basically remove his guard from the equation. Okay, so what I just did there was I did basically a beat trap on both of his limbs in here. And essentially what I did was I just literally took my arms, like if I was going to, take a dagger and just drive it through his wrist and just literally collapse his whole body in here. All right, so he's screwed right here. Right now, once I get in here like this, he ain't pulling his arms out. The fight's over right now. I got both his arms tied in here. And basically, this is a check, what we call checkmate. Okay? So a trap basically is just to remove one or both of his limbs in a way to where I can create an attack line. Okay, so if he just takes this arm out of the equation, puts this arm in here, basically essentially what I'm doing is I'm just removing this thing in a position where I can follow that strike right down. Now I got my body weight into the hit in here like this. Okay, if he puts his arm more crossed like this, essentially what I'm doing is all I'm doing is just kind of creating a right angle in here, and I'm just removing this thing out of the equation in here like this. And if I want to get, more powerful because he's strong in here, depending how strong a person is, he might not have the strength, or he might have short limbs. If he's got short limbs and big arms in here, this is a very small lever to move, so this may not quite do it. So if he won't let me move it in here like this, what I can do is I can use 2 arms in here, right? Or I can push his arms in such a way and use my body weight. Okay, so this is a different kind of trapping in here. This is basically learning how to kind of peel, push and slide his limb into a position and then follow, my techniques in here. So trapping is a very tactical and effective way and often to get it hidden when your conventional, striking won't work. Okay, but most people don't see that. Most people see as they're just trying to do this, and the faster and more I punch in here like this, the referee steps in and waves it off. And this guy on the bottom gets up and goes, "What the fuck? Why did he stop the fight? He didn't even hurt me." And I'm watching it going, "I agree. He didn't do anything." Okay, so the guy on the top, basically, he's just flailing his arms in here like this with no real focus on how to direct those punches. Okay, so one of the things you can do in here is you can practice with your partner holding his limbs up in here, and it doesn't have to be way up here. It can even be right here. And essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to take one limb. Work one limb at a time and practice removing that out of the equation. So this is basically called like a beat trap in here. So what I would start in a good mounted position, and I would start from a cage position like this. Now when you do this, you got to use your body weight behind you. You just can't do this in here because if he flexes in here, I didn't move it in here. So I have to use some body weight. But depending upon the resistance he gives me, I may have to use a secondary motion like a redirection of this trap in here. But we're going to keep it real simple. So we're going to say if he puts his limb in here like this, all you're going to do is create a right angle pendulum in here like this. And I usually would recommend that you go to the outside and then collapse down the center line like this. Therefore, he's not getting his arm. I can sit here, probably pull your arm out. He can't pull his arm out here like this. He can move it around all you want. Right? All I got to do is just smother it in here like this, and he's screwed. Okay. I'm not trying to grab his wrist. All I'm trying to do is just take my palm, right, in here and go right at his wrist. I don't want to go at his elbow. I want to go at his wrist in here like this. So essentially, if he puts his limbs up in here, all I got to do is just come outside in here like this and just trap it down and just push my body weight into it like this. Okay, I can bring my arms up here a little bit. All I'm doing is coming out. I'm going to use my lat in here and then come down like this. Okay, so now he's kind of out of position in here. Now from there, I can just fire your technique like this, and when you throw your punches, you want to throw your whole body weight boom, into the hit. You just don't want to go like this. Okay? When you throw your punches, I would throw your punches in such a way when I trap in here that they make sure that you kind of either throw a horizontal punch. Okay? So if you look at it from this angle, throw it across downward like this. Okay? Or you can throw a vertical punch in here You know, a cross is usually the recommended punch. You get more torque. You can throw a hook if you'd like in here, but I would just try to keep it direct as much as you can. I wouldn't come out and try to loop it like this. Remember, the goal of the trap is just that's buying you a moment in order to set up a hit. Okay, so if he's not getting in the way, I'm just punching him in the face in here. I don't need the trap. Okay, but this is, he's in the way in here like this, and I'm trying to get through, and I'm having a hard time doing it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move his hand out of the way in here like this. Okay, so it may be where you physically have to use one arm and then a secondary trap, followed by a secondary beat trap in here. So it's 2 arms on one in order to get this hit off, depending on what he's doing. This is something that has to be done by feel. It's not a move where I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to do this one. It has to be done by feel. Because if I go like this and his other arm gets in the way, okay, and I throw the strike in here, damn it, right? He blocked me in here like this. So what I have to do, if he does that in here, and I go like this in here, I need to be able to trap this side, okay, keep this one here, and pull this one in position like this. See, now he's in checkmate. Okay, this is check. Okay, 2 arms. My one arm on his is checkmate. I don't care who you are, you're screwed right here. And then I'm immediately going to get to the hit. Okay, so to work this in here, let's actually, let's go back this way a little bit here. Okay. Is to practice giving him one arm or not, and I'm going to usually stay with the same side. And I'm just going to come to the outside, trap, fire. Okay? Making sure that when you do this in here that you're not just trying to reach your arm out and go like this. I actually am going to use my whole body to come out in here like that. Okay? If he brings the other arm in here like this, let's take this one out of the equation so they can see. I would come to this side in here, pin it over, so my arm is right on center line like this. So I'm literally folding it over like an X, like this. I'm not pushing it here. I'm actually folding it over in here, getting my elbow on top of his elbow, bicep, and then throwing the punch in it, okay? Like this. And if I got him trapped in here, and I start hitting him with the one shot, and he's halfway out of it, then I can just keep repeating. And I don't need to mess with this arm in here. But if this arm gets in the way, and I go trap, and he punches, or he gets in the way in here, boom. Okay, what I need to do is I need to learn immediately, I need to trap again. So I'm either going to use the same hand, okay, like this, and pull this down. See, I'm pulling it down because now he's got to use his rotator cuffs in order to lift his arms up. So I'm not pushing it over here. I don't want to be out of position like this. You see a lot of guys trying to do stuff like this because they're so focused on the wrist control from jiu-jitsu. But see, you're totally out of position in here. You can't do anything and hit very well. And in order for you to hit effectively, you can't just go like this. Your body's all stretched out. It can't transfer its weight. So what has to happen is I have to pull myself back in position, and when I have to release this, he'll get his defenses back up, and we're right back to this thing again. I don't want that. I want the trap to finish the guy. So whether it's both arms up or not in here, all right, I'll do 2 arms in here, is I'm going to go to one side or not. So it doesn't really matter what side, but usually I'm going to either come over to here, I can come with 2 arms over here and strike in here like this. He's not, now he's turned this way, or I can come to the other side in here and here. Well, make sure that you drop your body weight into the trap. You're just not sitting here like this. He'll power out of this right now. Okay, but he's not going to power out of it. If I go like this in here, right, now move, right? He's screwed in here like that. And if he does, boom, right? You can always retrap in here until you start to get the hits off like this. Now if you look at my body weight, let's turn a little more this way. Good, good. If you look at my body weight when I punch, right? So I come in and trap, right? Boom, in here like this. Get his arms over here. Whatever hand is free. Now when I punch, right, watch, boom, boom, right? I'm rotating my techniques in here. I'm not just going arm punching. I want to make sure that I'm riding this guy good. I'm not up real high. Okay, so I'm not just arm punching in here. I'm dropping my weight into this guy in here like this. All right, that's how you throw those crosses in here. Right? So you want to rotate from here. If I throw a hook, it's not out here. A lot of fighters are doing this silly stuff. They're just arm punch and you're telegraphing. I also got to make sure that I don't telegraph. I don't want to go trap. Here it comes. Right? What I want to do is trap, boom, in here like this, boom, like that. And really drop my weight into the guy. All right? So these are essentially single arm single arm beat traps. All right, you can start by just kind of having his, again, putting his limbs out here, doesn't really matter, and practice going to one side, right? Okay. Then you can practice going with both arms on one arm, like this. And I'm kind of hooking on, peeling it over. So this is hooking and peeling it, whomp. Okay, boom, bam. But if you use two arms to go on one limb, make sure that one arm stays secure for the punch. Don't let up and do this, because now you just defeated the purpose of the trap. Okay, remember the purpose of the trap is to put him in checkmate. So I can go one to one, okay? Or I can go 2-on-1. Or I can go one to one on each one of his, and I can cross trap in here. So that would be folding an X like this, okay? This is one of my favorite ones, but again, this is all based on feeling. It's got to be based on energy distribution. What is he doing, okay? So from here, I'm going to literally take one side, and I'm just going to fold one here, like an X, one here, and then the last arm, this in case my left, holds everything right here. I drop my forearm and wrist to it, and now he's crossed up in here. Now I can boom, boom, boom. Very easy to get in here and choke him now, whatnot. Okay? So, again, you only apply trapping when you can't get in. So I'm going like this. This stuff's not working in here, right? In the real world, this is, even in the ring, this is ridiculous. So I can't get through. So what I'm going to do is next time I'm going to just find an arm that's coming up in here, whomp, in here like that. Boom, boom. Right? Again, bang, 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 bang. Here, boom. Okay? Right? So for more powerful type traps, if his arms are closer to his face, okay, this beat trap is not going to work. So what I'm going to have to do is do more of what we call like a push and slide or a hook and peel. And I'm going to have to actually drop my whole body weight onto the guy in here like this. Okay? So if he's tighter in here, that's not going to work. I'm not trying to pry him away. He's too strong. Especially with MMA gloves on, you don't have the grip. So what I would do is I'm punching, 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 can't get through. I'm pushed over like this in here, like that. Drop my weight down in here. Get my other arm in here. Again, as a secondary, nail this thing in place. And then, boom, elbow, right, cross, cross in here. And then, if I need to pull my other arm out. Okay, so this is something, again, that has to be done by feel. Okay, so if you look at things like Wing Chun, they're masters at trapping in here. Everything is done by feel when they're doing Chi Sao in here like this. So we're just starting this today in this tutorial, not by feel, but more by sight and some degree of feel. So if he's just sitting here like this, I can go, no, you put your arms back. I can go, oh, I think I'll go this way. I think I'll go this way. Maybe I'll go like this way. If we do it, that's by sight. Non-tactile. Tactile will be more by feel. We're up in here like this, and I realize, you know what? I can move his hand out of here and go in here like that. Okay? So that's a little more advanced, and that's beyond the scope of today's tutorial. But for now, let's just keep it here as by sight. So you're here, you're going to reach out, pick a side, fire technique. Right here, fire technique. Right? Go to two arms, fire technique. Okay, let's back up just a little bit this way here. That's good. So again, the same side in here, coming around, fire technique. Other side, fire technique. Both arms in here, you're going to cross in here, right? Bam! Fire technique. Doesn't matter, whatever preference you feel in here, right? Here, boom. Right, and then go right in, whang, 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 whang. Like that. Okay? So, that is a tactic you can apply into your ground and pound. This also can be done from all kinds of positions, but the mount that we did today is a very common position that most fighters feel like they're the most successful in when they get on top of somebody to hit them with strikes. Often you don't really see a lot of good effective striking or attempted effective striking from other positions like the side mount, and definitely on our back. Our previous video I did how to strike from the ground. Just a drill that you can use to practice striking from your back from the ground. You can go check that one out. how how to throw your jab from your back in a grappling situation or something like that. You can go ahead and check that out. If you found this information informative, please subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll look to see you next week for the next technique, tactic, or strategy tip of the week. Take care.